little hard sometimes to rest, unwind. Holla if you're here because you want to leave your stress behind. Getting into overload, don't lose your flow. Holla if you're here because you wanna bury your sorrow in a vibe, honey. All of your troubles don't seem so amplified, 'cause inside we'll break. Can't take you over, deplete your appetite. Got to vibe, honey. We got the specialist beat secret supply. We put it down, and they'll be telling us, yeah, yeah. Spin another vibe, bro. We lift and light up. When the night ends, you'll be leaving on a high note. Get out, say hi, bye. Yeah, yeah. Spin another vibe, bro. We lift and light up. When the night ends, you'll be leaving on a high note. Get out, yeah. And you'll be singing, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll be singing, oh, yeah, in no time. Like I don't wanna go, like I don't wanna go, go, go home. I don't wanna be singing, oh, yeah. You'll be singing, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Get out, yeah. It's a little hard sometimes to feel the quiet. Holla if you're settling, we'll let it spin whenever tired. Getting into overload, don't lose your flow. Holla if you're here because you wanted us to take control with the vibe, honey. All of your troubles don't seem so amplified, 'cause inside we'll break. Can't take you over, deplete your appetite. That's a vibe, honey. We got the specialist beat secret supply. We put it down, and they'll be telling us, yeah, yeah. Spin another vibe, bro. We lit the lights up. When the night ends, you'll be leaving on a high note. Get out, say hi, bye. Yeah, yeah. Spin another vibe, bro. We lit the lights up. When the night ends, you'll be leaving on a high note. Get out, say, get out, say. Get out, say. You'll be singing out, yeah, in no time. Yeah. Like I don't wanna go, go, go home. You'll be singing, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't wanna go
Kia ora, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Portland Raceway for round one of the ARCA-Tects of Speed, brought to you by KSR. No need to adjust your headsets. I'm Thomas McKeown in the comms box. With me is Sam, your semi-usual Tuesday crew.
Yeah, g'day Tomo, how are you, mate? Looking forward to a new season here with the ARCA-Tects of Speed, brought to you by Kiwi Sim Racing.
Yeah, it's looking like a good one. We've got usual names at the top of qualifying with Ewan Baker leading it out by almost a second, with just 4 minutes left in quali.
I don't think that'll stand, but bigger field than expected tonight, so it should be good. 40 laps around Portland, Oregon.
With a stage caution on lap 15, but we have been told with absolute certainty that you cannot pit under the stage caution and make it to the end on fuel. So it will be a mandatory two-stopper for these drivers.
Yeah, plenty of strategy to work out on the go for the boys tonight, and well, let's see who can come out on top with that one.
Yes, and a usual name in the field making his return, Michael Kemp. Ready for some Kempy's catastrophes on a Tuesday. As we normally see him over at NSCAR tomorrow night, which will be racing at, checking notes, Kansas for their last 5 rounds of the championship. Also,
All right, now with just under 3 minutes of qualifying left, everybody's thinking about putting in one last banger of a lap. You're on board with Brad Robertson now in the ARCA Ford Mustang.
yeah, these are some interesting cars, sort of newish to the iRacing simulator. Of course, following the Xfinity sort of cars from yesteryear. Looking at basically a Trans Am series with probably fewer assists than a V8 supercar, but a little bit more horsepower.
Riding the curbs like a boat. They look difficult to drive.
See him almost stack it. That's that's definitely the line through there, I've been told. Of course, yes, if you haven't quite worked out, Brad is just in the background operating the cameras, doing replays for us. It's not that he doesn't love the Tuesday night people watching. He just thought he might groom the next generation.
It's all right, we don't need them. We've got this.
No, we do need him. we need someone to do the cameras.
Right, that gap at the front starting to come down. It's down to 7/10. Let's see if anybody can get in closer. Two hours.
So 3/4 of a second. 3/4 of a second. The gap to second is we've just got over a minute left. Mitch Haas going for the grassy line into turn 1. Of course, we've got a big series ahead of us. Round 2 takes us to Charlotte, the Roval. So no oval rounds, of course. Then for round 3, we go to Circuit of the Americas. And then round 4 takes us to Chicago Street Circuit, made famous by Shane Van Gisbergen winning. Then we go to Sonoma and finish up at the Glen, Watkins Glen, for the final round of what will be a thrilling series. Even if Ewan's going to qualify by a quarter, 3/4 of a second.
All right, last lap's coming in. Let's see if anybody can do anything about this. Is anyone on a hot one there?
Is there anyone left? Stu, no. Russell Pepperell looks to be hot one.
Yes, of course. We see Russell Pepperell just announced in the New Zealand Sim Racing V8 Supercars team. So yeah, good news for him.
Yes, qualifying over now, just a few more seconds left, and we'll have grids for this first race.
All right, qualifying done. Ewan Baker on top, Russell Pepperell behind, and Stu Arrowsmith. Jordan and Haas up behind, B Party, Bowl, B Party, Kirk and Davies. That's your top 10.
That's your top 10 as we look into this first round here at Portland. Frozen mode. But we've still got some people coming around for laps still, but I don't think any of them are going to be able to take Ewan Baker's time down just yet. Luke Dilworth trying to set a late lap.
What's happened to
I
him?
thought
He had
him
a
and-
good time.
I thought him and Corey would have been setting no lap times and trying to go off the back, but clearly we have a change in form from these drivers as we get to see an extensive, lonely view of the Portland racetrack. As we actually go on board for this last long straight here, a little bit curved, but it is still effectively a straight into the final sections of turns as it cuts
Not
it down
enough
and rolls
time.
into a new section. Well, the flag waved. He did a quarter of the racetrack and then it just booted him.
Yes, I've had that before, haven't we all? Sounds like a Le Mans special.
Or in a Bathurst and some of the less powered cars. Right, off the front row, Ewan Baker and Russell Pepperell. Row 2, Stu Arrowsmith and Dylan Jordan. Row 3, Mitch Haas and Ben Doherty. John Boswell and B Party, row number 4. Row 5, Hayden Kirk and Justin Davies. Row 6, James Jordan and Michael Kempe. Justin Webster and Hayden Mannering in behind them. Grid 15 and 16, Martin Waugh and Cam James. Vaughan Martin and Cam James. Paul McKenzie and Brad Robinson, grid 17 and 18. Caleb Breecroft and Robert Woodworth, P19, P20. 21 and 22, Ben Heron and Craig Brock. Eric Roloffs and Simon Honey, grid 23 and 24. Philip Davidson and Lance Matthews, 25 and 26. Luke Dilworth and Corey Croissant on what I'm assuming is the last row. Bryce Harding and Xavier Simmons coming from the back as well. Aidan Gregory and Sam Waddell. And then finally, Brad Paul Wiggins right off the back at what's going to be a short formation lap for these drivers. Beg your pardon.
All right,
As we
they come up with the
onto the
line.
green. Of course, a lot of these drivers probably not used to a rolling start or caution lap, so it will be an interesting start to the race here for some of these guys. As we are finally under green and underway, as we look to go 3 wide in the background, someone always tries to put the nose in, and we go 4 wide temporarily as we get punted out of the way, and it is carnage into one. We haven't even made it through the turn 1-2 chicane, and it is a parking lot.
Oh, a lot of love lost there, I think. Ewan Baker leads them away.
Yeah.
Stu Arrowsmith. John Boswell's made a good game there.
Yes, as I come back. And then we got, so carnage finally sort of unpacked, and we get into that single file train. We got cars in behind still trying to look to make passes as we see drivers absolutely nose it up into these corners, as we're still trying to siphon into the single line groove. Really, as we hit the straight, we're still too wide with Heath Mannering and Corey Croissant, who's reading a number 4 for a change. That just about tripped me up there. As we kind of get back into that groove, as we get punts flying, trying to push each other off the line almost, as we come into this final corner for the opening lap. Of course, Ewan now stretching out to almost a 1.5 lead by the time he'll get into turn 1. As we still have an almighty battle pack. Jesus. Get some more of this.
It is not a baddie pack, that is for sure.
Oh, there's a pack of baddies. Look at them. As we get an almighty bad pack sort of forming here with what has to be our top mover, as we can see Bryce Harden all the way up almost into the top 10. No, he's just at the bottom there. Sam Waddell up 22 spots.
Wow.
Oh, 21.
How did he do
Sort
that?
of lost it. All the way from the back of the field into what would possibly be through that carnage in turn one, all the way to the front. Well, not quite the front, just about the top 10. Of course, 10th spot is your first place that will receive stage points for that stage on lap 15. Of course.
He sends him around.
Big turn. Oh, there'll be no love lost there. Both into the grass on the final corner. Both going to get dropped right down the order because it's made a lot more a lot less punishing really by the change in the format. We're used to seeing these sort of 3 races with an invert type format of the TCRs. And this one, there is no second race. They do have that stage caution to try and make up those spots though. That's going to really bring the field back together. And I believe we are going to go take a quick replay at that opening lap crash. Of course, you can just see the variation in speeds everyone else is having into that turn one, and Kempe there puts it 4 wide as my screen throws. So I can't really help you too much there, but it just looks like too many cars trying to go into turn one at the same time. All try to joggle, you know what I'm going to say, for position. Oh, and we can see Kempe there getting turned, so it is a Kempe catastrophe already. Yes. You can just see how these guys at the back, just purely by hitting a brake marker, just got straight through the carnage and funneled up a whole bunch of positions.
No points for style tonight, I'm sorry.
D1NZ is next week, unfortunately. As we go back live, looking at some of the perpetrators now, sort of back towards the end of the pack.
Have become stragglers just in this first stage of the race here. Oh, someone's backwards.
There we go. Sam Waddell trying out a new Super Saloon line, getting ready for the new season, of course. Right. As we look further back ahead at what is a almighty battle pack forming, really. Of course, these 3 cars here all jockeying for 6th. Really, if they can get to the back of each other, what's that be? 4 stage points to be offered at this early stage in the race. Of course, we've only got 10 laps until that caution comes into effect.
Well, why don't you run us through the point schedule here, Tomo?
Yeah, so it's points for finishing, but on top of that, we've got stage points, of course. 10th for first, 2nd, 9th, 3rd, 8th, so on and so forth, until we get to 10th, which of course will score 1 point.
Right, well, all the action takes off in the back half of the field. Ewan Baker pulled out over 4 seconds over Stu Aerosmith, and getting some big gaps out front there.
Now the question is, does Ewan know what a caution lap is? We've seen him in KSR for a long time in a lot of these road series. We've never really seen him on oval. He did do a season at NSCAR. Oh, I've been told he's done a season at NSCAR, so he does know what a caution lap is. The question is, how will he translate it into the road side of racing? Of course, it's a much longer caution lap.
Yes, not to
A lot
mention
of these guys.
there are corners here, so they might give him an up on some drivers.
I think he's well educated on corners.
Oh,
and
Kirk
Kirk
in the wall.
Made a long way there at the final corner. We're just going to go to a replay now, hopefully.
Yeah.
What happened here? Great. Oh, he's just gotten on the grass and done it to himself. Oh! He's collected someone on the way through. He's back on the track. Philip Davidson involved. No. Yep. Yeah, we're going on board with him now. That's something different. More carnage going on. There's a 24 that went into him. As we see, not Cam James, but here's him getting turned as well.
Oh, he's losing a ton there.
Yeah, lost a fair few spots. We go back live now, of course. Laps ticking by till that first caution. Oh, well, not first caution, only caution of the night. Of course, end of lap 13. Once the leader has completed that lap, the pit lane will close, preventing anyone else from sneaking down early to get an advantageous pit stop.
I see Luke Dilworth and Xavier Simmons have both made their way into the top 10 from the back as well.
Yeah, and Corey
Having a good
Croissant as
ride.
well. Simmons is 24. And that bumpers came back, so
Magical.
that might be why we were struggling to find it in our system. Some iRacing magic tricks applied some collisions that weren't really collisions, clearly. Yeah, and kick. That's the Sigma stable altogether, isn't it? That group of friends, they're all running in close proximity. Your typical oval racing specialists, all running in a nice tight pack. It'll be interesting to see what they can do here, because there'll be some practice for the upcoming road races for NSCAR, if they ever come back, and VRA runnings. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. Quite good in these oval style cars. They could possibly contend with Ewan Baker if they can figure out how to qualify.
Right, we're watching Mitch Haas chase down John Boswell here. Boswell will be hoping he can catch Pepperell and try to catch a bit of a toe off him for some defence.
These cars probably very aerodynamically sensitive, of course. Once we have, if we're lucky enough to get our race leader in at the end, we'll be able to sort of hopefully coax some information out of them on how advantage the draft is in these cars. Of course, oval racing, a lot of draft involved. Here on the road course side, with what's really a Trans Am series, it's going to be interesting to see just how much the draft comes into play, especially once we get to rounds like the Watkins Glen and possibly Sonoma too, depending on what layout. Those are long straights, sort of flowing corners where draft will really help out a car. We'll get started from the rear for fun. Yeah, standard from those boys on KSR nights. It'd just be interesting to see really what they could do against the likes of Ewan Baker if they actually had a crack at qualifying. Give us a different race winner.
This battle for third still going strong here. 3 cars in it.
Yeah. Is Mitch Haas still trying to really get to the back of John Boswell, as we see Bryce Harding now, that kind of gap closing up between his teammate.
I think he'll be looking to stick his nose in.
So. Oh,
and there he goes to the inside.
ooh. Yeah, he's going to make a move on. Oh, clicks inside wall on Doherty. Sorry, I mistook a Power Rangers car for Ben Doherty. Not quite his usual scheme. not quite a pink. I dare say more of a purple panther. It's going to be up to viewer discretion as we see Luke Dilworth trying to. Oh, he's turned him. Try to sneak on
Recovery.
through. These guys used to racing each other at NSCAR and VRA in sort of real tight battles.
Yes, well, I thought they all got out their hard feelings on the other night with our full contact race.
Yeah,
Clearly
you would have
not.
thought they would have beaten it out of each other. But
That was exciting.
possibly some more
that,
tensions remain. Of course, Xavier's still yet to come through on that Sigma Stables into that top 10 past Ben Doherty, so... Oh, he's fast lane.
All right, just a few laps remaining in this first stage. Still got Ewan Baker up front, but he appears to have made a mistake. He's lost 3 seconds.
Yeah, I might have to
maybe
steal
he's
that
in
one
off
off you,
there.
Eurotech with the Great Panther. Something's
I think
happened to Baker. That gap has definitely closed down. As we see him making his way through lap cars. Oh, he's being sent round by a lap car. Has been
Still
sent into
plenty of
pit
hard
lane
feeling.
by a lap car. Not quite. But that gap now all the way down to 3 seconds. As we see more carnage, Rob Woolworth almost finding the gap in the fence. And what could have been a nasty collision. Simon Honey making his own racetrack, really. Ooh, I beg
Yes, I haven't seen that line before.
That's Matthews just locking a corner and almost finding the same gap in the fence.
Oh,
Oh, Bryce is just turning around, not really having the best of nights. As we see Ewan Baker now, he's possibly heated up the rear tyres. It looks a little bit less settled than it was before. Of course, Stu Aerosmith could try and use this to close the gap up. Of course, the Great Panther. Yes, of course. 1 lap left. If Ewan Baker chooses, he can actually pit early. I'm not quite sure what the advantage would be for him, if any, really, other than being
he's got it under
knocked
control.
out of those points. Well,
Now,
it's hard to say. These cars look pretty sliding at the best of times.
Our 3-car battle for 3rd place has turned into a 2-car battle for 2nd place, so there's still plenty to compete for here.
One to watch. Luke Dilworth actually comes into pit lane early.
A bit of strategy there.
Opting out of the stage points. He'll get those positions back under caution, of course. Xavier Simmons coming in as well. He's the first person outside the points, so that could either be damage or possibly strategy.
With 2 laps left in the stage, a bit of strategy starting to play out here.
Yeah, of course. As Ewan will come around to finish this lap, pit lane will be closed. It's James Jordan now. Go to him. As we see, someone messing up the turn 1 chicane again. Yep. Pit lane should be closed about now-ish. Synchronized spinning, 2nd and 3rd. That's going to drop them right down the order as Mitch Haas, the big beneficiary.
Russell
all the way
Pepperell,
up into
the big
2nd. He's going to be dropped down to 8th even. So just still in those stage points.
It served the big chicken dinner.
We see Bryce Harding try to put on the moves for 4th as he's still hanging on around the outside of John Boswell. going to continue around the outside, try and maybe pinch some of the momentum.
No quarter given there.
Absolutely no margin for errors. As he's still got a Bryce Harding on the back of him. All for fourth places. We're looking very, very close to this window of that stage caution. Too much time out in the trees. Right. Of course, that spin's actually put Ewan Baker up to a 10-second lead that he's just going to see completely disappear. As Kempy now fighting for the final stage points with Brad Robinson.
Stu Aerosmith. Has he pitted, has he? He's down in...
He was in the...
He was too.
He got synchronised spun at the final corner.
Yes, they could have made the Olympic swimming team with that effort.
Hope they'd be a little bit better and a little bit more in a pool when they do their things. But yes, final spot on the line. 1 whole point. Oh, it's done. It's all over. Never mind. I thought they had one more. Because now we go under stage cautions. This is an interesting thing. As far as I've been in KSR, this is the first caution lap I've ever seen in a direct KSR event.
Yes, it looks like they're throwing caution to the wind still. They're not slowing down.
Better proceed with caution as Ewan Baker now will catch the safety car. Because we should have the TAB odds on whether it be the Porsche or the truck.
All right, so points in top 10 for your first stage. Baker, Haas, Jordan, Harding, Boswell, Aerosmith, Crowson, Pepperell, Doherty, Robinson. Let's see what happens in the next stage.
So that's B Party in behind the race leaders. Has he pitted already?
Ooh, I didn't catch
Is that something we can bring up? Because he'll be a lapped car. And of course, the way it works is the lead car, a lap down, will get a lap back. And then as we go 1 to green, every car between the race leader and the safety car will get waved around in an attempt to make it back around to the back of the field within that 1 lap. Of course, the lucky dog will also get an end of longest line penalty added to them as well. Headed early to take past repair.
All right, all the cars form up behind the safety car there. Everybody can take a breather, have a drink, before we all go nuts again.
We've got no Fabian Coulthard feeling slowing the whole field down, so it's a good start.
Well, I was just watching a video on of Fabian on the internet the other day. Boy, how many rolls did he do down at the chase there that year?
Yeah, not to think about that as we sort of finally start trickling in to the back of the safety car, because I believe it should be a sort of 2 to go situation with these portions. No. Kind of got to be careful, especially if you're approaching with speed to the back of the safety car field. We'd hate to see some pile-ups under caution. Awesome.
Don't jinx it.
Oh, I'd love to jinx it. I would love to jinx it. Has Justin Webster stayed out?
Brad Wiggins following the safety car in.
This will be interesting, because what we've been promised with this format is if you stop under caution, you won't be able to make it to the end. So if you don't put under caution, I'm assuming you're going to have to absolutely stretch the tank as dry as you can.
Do you think anyone's going to take that approach?
Yeah, so Webster hasn't stopped. He might know something we don't.
All I know is Ewan Baker's not far behind him there.
Of course, he's got the likes of Luke Dilworth and Xavier Simmons. They came in just before the caution. They've gained massively in track position. Of course, they've got slightly older tyres and a slightly more emptied tank.
Now, they started this race at the back. So,
Yeah, they massive movers, 27 spots
wow,
between the two of them.
that's a good night. We must see what happens though now.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting to see. Of course, those cars there in front of Justin Webster, they will get waved around the pace car and try and join back up once we get lights out, I believe. So Webster will be taking the restart at the front. I'm not sure if it's single file restarts or doubles. It doesn't say. It should probably be double restarts, which means we'll see Luke Dilworth off the front row, which is
Well, maybe producer Brad can let us know there.
usual start, and we see Webster return to his chops and come into the lane. So Luke Dilworth promoted to the race leader. They must have figured something out. Yeah, it should be double file. I can't think of any reason why it wouldn't. As we see the safety car lights out, and we're going to see these lappers go round, try and rejoin the back of the field. And it must be fate almost, as we see Luke Dilworth and Xavier Simmons off the front row of a restart.
Wild night for
racing car.
Aiden Gregory's come right with them too. That was Bryce Harding.
Of course, Ewan Baker, the race leader beforehand, he's on the freshest tyres. He just doesn't have the track position over these guys. And of course, we saw carnage on the first start. What are we going to be looking like here? Of course, a lot of those munters that decided to go four wide will be a little bit further back this time, so these front runners should be all right.
Maybe with some of these cars needing another pit stop, maybe they'll take some risk here on the restart with a pit stop due.
Or it could be just leaving that gap. It looks like they're kind of narrowed up a bit there.
All right, they come down the back straightaway.
Yes, into this final section of corners, of course. The most caution laps I've ever seen at KSR. It'll be interesting to see how long these drivers can last, fuel tank wise. Given that they can't make it to the end, it's going to be possibly I'd say maybe 20 laps. Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be real close on whether or not they can actually get fueled to the end here, one way or another.
Feels in.
Filled in.
Yeah, we're off.
The leaders, restart is on the leaders this time. No start zones, and we're straight into pace racing. As we almost go three wide. Ewan kind of bailing out as we see Xavier Simmons just bailing out and skipping the first corners.
Yes, the first.
We actually do see a little bit of carnage in the background as those slowdown penalties apply to those cars that skipped ahead. Dilworth back into a race lead again. Ewan Baker not really able to do much off the start, playing the patience game, possibly going to try and push the tyre advantages as they kind of get a little bit loose in the background. Of course.
Oh, 3 wide.
3 wide there momentarily. Ewan Baker. Oh, Crosson's gone in the background. He's hit the tyre barriers, just about found the gap in the fence. Huge crabbing issues by the looks. He's going to have to come back down early. That's going to throw a spanner in the strategy works for him for sure.
Yeah, Elton John's straighter than that car.
It's Luke Dilworth now, new race leader for round 1, leading ahead over Ewan Baker as we sort of look further back. Corey Croissant doesn't bail into pits, so clearly he thinks it's drivable. Oh, more carnage going on in front of Kempe as we see, I believe that's Rob Woolworth in the 999 around.
Corey Croson trying to make some places back.
Yeah, trying to get
wall.
back as he files back ahead of Kempe. As we're still fighting it out for the minor spots all the way down here at the back. Of course, unlike the former series we had last time, it's points all the way down to last place. It's no 0 points paying position, so every spot, every fight is a point. And it could just change the championship towards the end. Yeah, so we've got Luke Dilworth up 26 spots to be your race leader as Ewan Baker goes quickest, trying to reel that time in. We see these cars trying to file into turn 1. They're still nose the bumper.
It's the 18 attack.
Ewan Baker now as we see this gap really starting to shrink up. Luke Dilworth, of course, he's going to put on a fight of his life. Just getting to the back of Luke Dilworth's not going to mean a pass. It's just going to mean we're going to have a fight on our hand for that top spot on the podium.
Ewan Baker getting loose, trying to reel him in.
Of course.
That time's under a second now. Maybe you can catch a toe.
That toe will start coming to object, possibly start seeing it absolutely draw Ewan in. So we see the difference in lines of that final corner. We see Luke Dilworth a lot further out towards the wall. Ewan nice, tight and close to that inside wall. So we fire into turn 1 on the gyro cam, sort of riding on board here as we see just how much that bump on turn 2 really affects the cars as Ewan's all over the curvage.
Inch of racetrack Ewan Baker is.
Of course. Gonna have to come back in for fuel, so why not grab tyres while you're at it?
Dilworth's pushing hard, he's dipping wheels on the grass.
Yeah, we kind of see these sweeping corners now where Ewan's really drawing him in. Gap just over half a second for a moment there as we get back to the straights and the concertina effect kind of bails out. So just about a quarter of a second as we get to the braking zone for these final couple corners now. Of course, you can see the gap on the fence there to the left. To the right, sorry. Yeah, no left. Directions get hard on the gyro cam as we go through the last couple corners now. So gap down 0.7 of a second. We can see just how close that is on the tail cam as Ewan starts to get bigger in the mirrors now. Turn 1, turn 2, they're both using heaps of curbage now.
Ewan
Of
Baker
course, a
keeping
lot
it
more
straight.
into that turn 3 curb. So just minor differences in lines here. Of course, Luke Dilworth being your race leader, that's more down to strategy. He's sacrificed those stage points to be out in the front now. He's got slightly older tyres, slightly less fuel in the tank, so he has to come down earlier than Ewan. So Ewan's going to get an overcut if he chooses to take it. If Ewan doesn't take it and he comes down before Dilworth, he will have a shorter stop, assuming both of them are burning fuel at the same rate.
They're going to have to sort it out soon. You got Bryce Harding slowly inching that gap in, taking advantage while these two have a go.
Of course, once they're side by side, that gap will close right down. Once again, you see that difference in the lines. Luke, all the way out wide, sort of losing time trying to basically catch the car. Ewan a lot more under the power, just keeping it a lot straighter. Of course, now the question is, as that gap's almost down to 0.3 of a second, how's Ewan going to set up this pass? Luke, of course, he's consistent on his brake markers. He's not really missing opening in a door for Ewan to get by.
Ewan's just tucked in, waiting for that opportunity. He's just sitting there, waiting.
Because the whole time he's tucked in, waiting. Bryce and Xavier really are both kind of closing that gap up.
Yeah, we're not seeing the big gaps we saw in the first stage there.
Gap's not opening all the way up like it usually does. There, a little bit loosey-goosey there as we fire into these last couple corners. Lots of curbage, a little bit of grassage. Final corner, and once again, you just see the massive gap between the lines. Luke going wide, trying to maximise the corner exit, try and build as much pace into turn one.
This is as close as he's been.
Ewan shows the nose, has a look. Backs out, kind of Lewis Hamilton-esque as they fire through turn two. Turn three, Ewan, once again, much more on that curb.
Just on the topic of Lewis Hamilton, thoughts go out to him for the loss of Roscoe. That's really sad. I don't know if anybody heard, but Lewis had his dog put down today.
That's such happy news for a Tuesday. Such great news. Just exactly what everyone wants to hear on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. Anyway.
Puppy love.
Ewan now all over the back of Luke. They are scrapping it out for this top spot. Of course, that kind of little bump sent Ewan back a long ways down the straight. Almost doubling the gap. If we look back, Dylan Jordan.
Ooh.
Who's that in the wall? Just ahead of them, Boswell.
Boz in the
Shane
wall.
Van Giz looking livery. Big Five just providing the goods. Parking it in the fence, just had enough, as we are well over half race distance now. Of course, that's... God, maths failed me. Yeah, 3/4. I was just doing the caution now, trying to work out.
Dylan Jordan is going up the outside.
Trying the long way around, trying to pinch that momentum, trying to maximise the straight.
Ben Doherty's got the best view in the house for this.
What did we say he was? The Great Panther. Just lying in wait after getting turned early on. Also, he's got the best seat in the house as he's going to look to follow through here, try and sneak up into sixth. Running out of grass, running out of road, whole bunch of grass in the view as we hit the braking zone now.
He backs
out of the pass.
Wise move, I think.
Fire into the last couple corners now. This is going to be another demonstration, surely, on the difference in lines. You can see with these types of cars, we see... Who would that be? Is that Dylan Jordan? Sort of really narrow in. Very straight, but sort of off the gas versus John Boswell, who was quite in the gas a little bit wider. As now the gap between these two closed right up again. They're within striking distance of each other. Of course, probably the best opportunity is going to be that turn 1, turn 2 complex. Easy to defend, easy to attack.
Easy to make a mistake.
As we see, Lapper just parked in the weirdest spot on the track. Luckily, he didn't play a part in this crucial moment of the race. Ewan, fresher rubber just by 2 laps.
Trying
Could
to
be the
put Dilworth
difference.
offline.
Of course, we've seen the difference in the lines here. Ewan didn't look as straight as he usually is. He's really stepped the back out now. He does have the draft, so it is still looking quite possible for a move here. He's got the nose in, but he's not really going to follow through on that. It's probably just more of a mental mind game. He just can't really find a spot to make it work. A lot of these sweeping corners, if you look to put yourself either around the outside or up the inside, you just don't really have the momentum for the straight. So Ewan, he's possibly going to have to wait another lap and try and get that last couple corners a bit better for a move into 1. Of course, another possibility is this longer straight here. If you can get alongside, get the better exit, which he hasn't done. He's just not really able to get these power down sections as well as Dilworth has. He's just opens that gap again just for it to get narrowed down through these sweeping corners. This last corner again, if Ewan can get it right and not sort of step the rear out, he could be set for another move. He's just really not really there.
He needs a monster exit on that last turn there.
I dare say the tyres almost fall away from Ewan at the rear. Just that tighter line just heating up the tyres a little bit more, and it's kind of just fallen away from him now. He's nowhere near in the grabs of Bryce Harding, who's sitting in third. He's still 2 seconds back. As we continue on, we'll be lap 30 this time by 10 to go. Another fuel stop is what we've been told in the comms box will be required out of these guys. It'll be interesting to see what the fuel situation is with 10 to go. As we know, Luke Dilworth in earlier than everyone else on lap 13, so he will have to come down before everyone else. As we see, Aiden Gregory just getting it wrong, getting the arse out. So he looks to...
Craig Brock will be happy with that and close that gap a little bit.
Strong Rob Woodworth as well. Of course, we've seen him around a couple times finding the fence. It's good to see he's still out there. Hopefully it's a fair paycheck for those pit crew. And the car is he's trying to look to catch... Is that for position? No, I don't think it is. No, it is on Brad Robinson for P18. Of course, every position pays points. All of these battles we're seeing matters. We see Russell Pepper, first one to react, first man into pit lane.
He pulls the trigger.
He was one of your pole sitters. Just fuel, no tyres. So, what will these race leaders do? Will they react? Of course, he was just outside the top 6 when he came down the lane.
Is it worth taking tyres with 10 laps to go? I mean, that's about an extra 20 seconds on your pit stop there.
And on top of that, you've got to get those tyres back up to temp as well. So that's another couple laps where you're just kind of coaxing the tyre until you're ready to attack. It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Of course, Bryce Harding could just be sitting behind these two, not too fussed about track position and just saving fuel.
Still, the prolonged battle for the lead. Ewan Baker, he's still there.
You almost wonder...
Earning it tonight.
You almost wonder if Luke Dill is forcing Ewan to react. Because Ewan can't get past. He's not able to stretch his lead, as we see Heath Mannering down the lane as well. And Brad and B Party and Bragg Wiggins. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're starting to see these guys come down for the stop. What's the stop time like? Because you dare say over 15 seconds would definitely have to be tyres. As we see it now, Luke Dilworth reacts. He's the first one to fire. He's down pit lane now. So how much of a gap will Ewan inherit from this stop? Of course, Luke Dilworth, one of the early bays towards the back of the pits.
Now.
And he's doing tyres. Of course, he'll be on an older set than Ewan.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be hard to say. 8 laps for new tyres. This could see Ewan definitely take the lead if he doesn't go tyres. Just a matter of how far those tyres have left on them.
Will he?
Because they're not used to all this action. They're used to sort of repetitive motion, these sorts of tyres. Not quite. They're approximately a second a lap slower. Of course, they could just fall off a cliff. It really depends on how much late running Ewan Baker's done. Whether or not he's spent the time to do that 35 laps on a single set of tyres to kind of see what they do at race pace. It's Russell Pepperell in 12th. He's the first to react.
Ewan Baker giving it the beans. He's using more track now.
Of course, Luke Dilworth, he's popped out in 5th, so it's not too damaging for Ewan once he comes down. You'd possibly see him within the next couple laps, of course.
Yeah,
2 laps difference between when these guys stopped.
Looking at about, what's that? 35 seconds for the pit stop.
Yeah, but if we see Ewan
pit lane tonight.
We see Ewan not take gas. It's a lot less fuel. As we go to a replay, we're hearing news of a massive crash on track. Possibly. Gonna have to back it up. We've gone too soon. Nah, not a biggie. Gone. Spoke too soon. I said big crash, and it's just a
big
lock up. Software
good time for a pit stop. Did he clip the wall?
I don't think it looks like he's clipped the wall. It looks like he's just gone into pit lane with that big penalty. Unless he's ran out of fuel. He cut that final corner to try and make it, as we see Pepperell and someone else in the background there. Just forget about turn 1 and 2. Just straight line it.
That's one way to save rubber.
See Vaughan Martin come back out. So, Ewan's out. So Ewan's came out of pits. He's in 3rd.
He's jumped
And
him.
most importantly, he's just over a... Well, nope, never mind, that number changed. He didn't take tyres as well, so that's why there's such a big gap, about 8 seconds to Luke Dilworth. Dylan Jordan hasn't taken tyres either, but Luke Dilworth is ahead of him just. So those older tyres, they're roughly a second slower with 6 laps to go.
They'll need a light touch.
Roughly 6 seconds. They're gonna sort of... That gap's gonna increase the amount of time difference per lap. It's gonna be very close. Especially as we've seen now, Bryce Harding. He's down the lane. Will he take tyres? There's Ben Doherty. Ben Doherty comes down as well. So, no tyres for Bryce Harding. So, you almost wonder if Luke Dilworth made a mistake, because we're going to see Ewan jump Bryce here, and the Great Panther might possibly be close at the line. Luke Dilworth now, he's going to... Yeah, you can just see the gap and how long it's taken to do that set of tyres. It's just a matter of whether or not you're going to get that advantage in 5 laps.
Has he lost out to Bryce Harding too?
Yeah, he's lost out to Bryce Harding as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So you almost left to wonder, was it a mistake? Like, did he accidentally leave tyres ticked, or
Ooh, I hate
we're going
that
to
one.
see a bit of a strategy fumble from Luke Dilworth.
He wasn't making any mistakes, so he must have left the tyres checked.
It'll be interesting to see, because we are getting awfully late. Some of us like to wake up early in the morning and go fishing, so not sure on interviews yet. It's up to our producer whether or not we've got time for this top 3. And of course, once again, Ewan out as we see someone almost fired into the fence in the background of the shot. Bryce Harding, who's that behind him in the 12?
There's no pace.
Now, Bryce, Simon Honey, I've been being told his name popped up there just for half a second. So, utter carnage, late stages, no lid skids yet, and we're set for an early finish. I can't think of any more of the curses that you're not supposed to say to make it a little bit more electric. Now, we can't get rain in these.
Ah, right.
It is impossible for it to rain during an ARCA race.
I suppose anything's possible in America.
Bryce, almost in the grass, Jesus. Us throwing out all these curses is almost taken out second place. He's got Bacon now. As he approaches lap traffic, as we see Mr. Late Stopper in the 11, Justin Webster.
Ewan Baker's just pulling his gap out even bigger. As we run, the top 10 is Baker, Harding, Dillsworth, Jordan, Simmons, Doherty, Pepperell, Aerosmith, Crossan, and Haas. So still those guys from the back are still sitting pretty.
Of course, all these spots towards the back, they still play points, and it's still a championship up for grabs. And when you've got the guys like Bryce Harding, Simmons, Dilworth, Croissant, and Gregory all passing mass amounts of cars starting from the back, just being out there and being involved means it's another car they got to pass, and it makes it just a little bit harder for those guys to be up the front like they are. And all the biggest movers, other than Simmons, Sigma. These guys sure love their oval cars, that is for sure.
So his Bryce Harding start from the back row tonight, did he?
Yeah. Not the
That
very
is
back row, but he
incredible.
didn't set a quality time. So as far back as the sim would let him, we almost get a little bit of carnage going on between Simmons as he's looking to follow him in.
Late moves.
Save it to Sunday, boy. Save it to Sunday.
It's
More
getting
contact
ugly
as they
again.
come through one.
And Doherty having a
Simmons.
look in the background. He comes through one.
The Great Panther,
get
come
two.
on, boy.
He comes through two. No. Great racing tonight.
Something, ARCA break weekly for sure. Of course. No cautions from here on out, so get as feisty as you can. It's only going to send you to the back of the field. As the Great Panther now looks to try and maybe get to the back of Simmons again. If he can just get past Dylan Jordan and the almighty Lightning McQueen machine. Oh, something happened to Kempy. Kempy in the chat. Bryce Harding, now that's one way to let the field through. See, Aiden Gregory, he was right up there. I thought his name was on the biggest movers.
He was running at the sharp end of the top 10, but after the second stage started, he dropped to about 10th, and I've lost track of him myself.
Ooh. Yeah. Once again, the Ewan Baker show. As we go to a replay, actually, this might be some clarification on what happened here. No, it's just him letting the field through.
No guess?
Oh, there's possibly be a towel. Here we go. Oh, no, that will do it to you. That sends you right a fair ways down the order, sort of these sorts of moments in the race. He comes down last lap now. Ewan Baker on Cruisy Street. As we get to the back of a car, I don't remember seeing that as... That car's a sight, that's for sure. He's just going to park it behind the lapper. I know the lapper's going to let him through. I was going to say, there's no pressure from behind. Ewan Baker just on Cruising Street.
Proving he can drive anything.
Adjustment. Hey, you're not supposed to be there. That's an interesting spot to be lap car. It's Matthews in the 23. Kind of playing a game of pop up on the stream wherever you can. Ewan Baker now, final corner. Last wee bit of straight. Opens up the gas. Gets a little bit of slide action going on. Takes the opening round from Bryce Harding. In the background, Luke Dilworth, very unlucky to grab those tyres and to lose spots. We go back to Xavier Simmons. Sort of your ends car regulars make an appearance at KSR. He takes out fourth. Dylan Jordan, and then the Great Panther. So yeah, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So we go a little bit further back to Russell Pepperell. He'll be crossing the line.
Down at the turn 1 and 2 complex.
Ewan Baker making sure everyone's PCs struggle with the new iRacing smoke.
Still plenty in those tyres.
He's clearly had plenty of tyre left after not taking them.
Great race from Baker tonight. Luke Dilworth left wondering what could have been.
Yeah.
Hard luck.
Look,
nevertheless, a great result.
Great result for sure, and a good way to start the championship for Ewan Baker. And as we said, he's taken it from Bryce Harding and Luke Dilworth. Unfortunate not to take that top spot with that tyre gamble. Xavier Simmons in fourth. Dylan Jordan, Peppa Pig Racing, not in a Peppa Pig car. Someone's going to sort that out for him. Ben Doherty in the Great Machine in sixth. Russell Pepperell seventh. Stu Arrowsmith eighth. Corey Croissant ninth. And Mitch Haas down in 10th, as we have a couple boys in the waiting room already. We've only really got 5 minutes, so it's going to have to be a quick fire. Fire. The tyres. Yeah, so Luke joining us in the Combox course. Different voice tonight for you to deal with, and a lot harder questions, hopefully. Tyres, was that a deliberate choice?
Yeah, it was a deliberate choice. I just kind of thought it may have played out a little bit better than that. Unfortunately, the races are probably a bit too short, and the new tyre model on the ARCA doesn't wear out, obviously. So, unfortunately.
A little bit harder than you were expecting. So, it all kind of really just unfolded, not the way you'd wanted. Still on the podium, though. And, of course, pitting 2 laps early, was that sort of just a team plan, just kind of consolidate track position and just hope for the best?
Yeah, just flip the stage, start at the front, try and run away with it. Started all right, just unfortunately, tires
Started
were the
alright.
thing that kind of killed it. But it would have been a bit more interesting if the tires actually wore out.
Do you
Can
think
you,
you could have held?
Sorry, can you tell us how these new cars drive?
They drive very similar to, I guess, a mix of like the next gen and the Xfinity, I guess. Long braking zones and just like to slide around a bit, which is quite cool. Yeah.
Everyone looked a bit loose out there tonight.
The
Yeah,
big question we had early on: drafting these cars, yes or no?
Probably the run out of the last corner is probably more important than getting a draft from someone. The draft's probably there, but it's just you're probably better off just to try and get a better exit and stay out of the air in the last corner. The air kind of creates a bit of understeer or a bit of oversteer.
Bit of dirty
It
air.
looked like you had the better line in the last corner.
Yeah, I've learned over the years of racing NASCARs on road courses that you just want to keep opening the steering and handing on the throttle a bit more and more. And I saw Ewan was trying to take it tight, and I just knew that over a period it'll just start cooking your rear tire.
Yeah, because it's quick fire tonight. So any thanks to your sponsors?
Nah, just to System Decal. Normally does great designs. He's been busy doing race car stuff, real race car stuff over the last few weeks, so he hasn't really got around to doing anything.
Yeah, so any personal shout outs then?
No, not really.
No, not really. Cool.
not for a fun night anyway.
Not for a fun night. Wait, so it should be grabbing you in now, I believe.
All right,
For a quick
thanks a
one.
lot, Luke.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Oh, we're going to go to Bryce per second instead. Quickly. So we just got you very, very quickly, Bryce, as time's raining down. The producer's looking at me quite angrily. Quite lucky to sneak into second there. Was your teammate on the tyres? Was it a quick, oh shit, don't take tyres from him, or was he playing that close to his chest?
No, I was looking a bit at the times, and I don't know. I was going to do whatever he didn't do anyway. Yeah, I was going to just try whatever else. So if he tried one thing, I was gonna try another thing. So if he didn't take tyres, I probably was going to take tyres, or maybe just take two and see how it played out. Haven't had too many laps or much experience in this car, other than a little bit of practice tonight for these. So they drive really, really interesting. Pretty similar to the other ones, but a little bit of working out to do, especially learning the tyre. The tyre, we expected to have more drop off than that for sure.
KSR, I've been told practice is illegal here. Against the rules. At least that's what I've been told. So any shout out to any sponsors or...
I just want to shout out to Sigma Sim Sports and all the guys. And shout out to KSR putting on this league. I think it's a wicked concept. And thanks to you guys.
Yes.
And shout out
very
to
rapidly
Ewan
have to
for winning the race too.
just very rapidly have to get Ewan in.
Yeah, sweet as. I'll leave you guys
The
to it.
producer's
Thanks, guys.
very, very angry now. He's got to wake up early.
All good. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Quick for Ewan. We've been told off. We've gone long.
Okay,
It's
we'll
good to
keep it
see you
brief.
back in the comms box, even though it's a different voice for you now.
It's a different what now?
It's a different voice doing the interview now.
Ah, right. You've been given the task.
Yeah, they've let the monkeys out in the madhouse. So, anything you really learnt from tonight's race, being this opening round with these new cars for you?
Probably biggest thing is just tires and the heat. Last stop I just kept the same tires on and found that they were quite good coming out, so I need to not overwork them. Behind Xavier and they're trying to keep the pressure on, I was definitely burning them up a bit. So that's a learning for the future. But yeah, otherwise it was great fun. These are awesome cars and it's a great format, and yeah, it's nice to start off the series with a win.
It's because I know it's the same speech every week, but shout out to any sponsors or influential people.
Yeah, a big shout out to the team at Kiwi Sim Racing and the sponsors Speed Nation, Inspire Net, Scott Technology, and Shearwater Studios. And yeah, it's good to be back up. And yeah, Xavier and some of the other guys are very quick. Like Bryce was was quick as well. So it's going to be a good series, I think, and it's going to be a lot of elbows out, I reckon. Good fun to race, good fun to watch.
Good to hear. We look forward to seeing it next week when we go round 2, Charlotte Roval.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I think that's the one with the hairpin layout as well. So, eesh.
Yeah, the new layout is very fun indeed. Yeah, good drive tonight there, Ewan.
Thank you very much.
Right, I think that's all we have time for. So we will see you tomorrow night in car at Kansas for the last couple of rounds. I'm not exactly read up on that. Beyond that, have a good remainder of your night.
Yes, good night, everybody. That's all.